Anime fans never forget the biggest shows of their generation. Or at least, that's what we like to believe. Because history tells a different story. For every anime that remains legendary, there are others that once dominated discussions, topped popularity charts, and seemed impossible to ignore. Only to almost completely disappear from the conversation years later. Today, we're looking at anime that were huge in their time, but somehow faded into obscurity. Back in the 2000s and early 2010s, anime fandom looked very different. There was no TikTok. No short-form edits generating millions of views overnight. No algorithms constantly reviving old series. If an anime stopped getting new content, it often slowly vanished from public attention. And some of the biggest victims of this phenomenon were shows that once seemed untouchable. Take D.Grayman. For many anime fans in the mid-2000s, this was one of the biggest shonen titles around. It had memorable characters, dark themes, unique world-building, and a dedicated fanbase. People genuinely believed it would become one of the next long-running anime giants. But years of hiatuses and an inconsistent release schedule slowly pushed it out of the spotlight. Today, many newer anime fans have never even heard of it. Then there's the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. It's difficult to explain just how massive Haruhi was during the late 2000s. It wasn't just popular. It was a cultural phenomenon. The opening dances, the endless online discussions, the fan theories. For a period of time, Haruhi was everywhere. But unlike some of its contemporaries, the franchise gradually faded away. What once felt unavoidable now feels like a relic of another era. Another interesting example is the series helped define an entire generation of action romance anime. Yet today, it rarely appears in recommendations, rankings, or discussions. Not because it was bad. Because anime simply moved on. And that's the strange thing about popularity. We often assume success guarantees immortality. But in anime, that's rarely true. A new season arrives. A new trend appears. A new generation of fans enters the community. And suddenly, yesterday's giant becomes today's forgotten classic. Of course, some anime manage to escape this fate. Shows like Death Note, Code Geass, or Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood continue attracting new viewers year after year. But they're the exception. Not the rule. Most anime, even successful ones, eventually disappear from mainstream conversation. And maybe that's what makes revisiting these forgotten giants so interesting. They aren't hidden gems. They weren't underrated. They were massive. Millions watched them. Thousands talked about them. For a brief moment, they defined anime culture. Yet somehow, time moved on. And the internet forgot.